Hello everyone, hope you're all doing well. Don't forget, if you like the video, click on like and subscribe and talk about it on chat lines, wherever it is your social media activities, and help us to grow and help more people. I'll talk to you soon. Sid says, hello Mehran, male 23, Estonia. Why do I see every girl as a potential mate and how to avoid it? You don't have to avoid it. That's how we are. Every girl, because we are usually, unless we are, we're consciously trying to avoid it. Good men usually, men usually are programmed to take responsibility for women and to treat every woman as something so precious. And when it's precious, they want to hold on to it. So every woman that you meet, that the criteria of you liking her physical or behavior is met, makes you want to turn the joy of knowing her into permanent, in order to give psychological security and permanence to what you love. This is what we do. We always want to hold on to things that we like. Yeah. We want to have it, own it. Yeah. Keep it permanent. So that's why if you find someone that you really like, you want to turn into permanent. And you consider every woman who meets your aesthetic standards as qualified already. You don't go any further to qualify them for a year or so and then make a decision. This is how we are, because in the olden days, the million years ago, there was no qualification period. You see, you like it, you both allow it, you boom, boom, and you make babies. But now there are qualifications needed. And so instead of giving a year or so to qualify each other, you see a woman, she meets your aesthetic standards, and you go back with your historic programming. You see she's qualified, because that's all it was necessary for a man to think a woman is qualified for procreation, which meant permanent relationship. So it's a normal thing that you're doing. It's not like you need to avoid it. You just got to be aware that, listen, I got to have a little bit of qualification, because every woman that meets my aesthetic standards, it's a natural instinct of a man to consider that woman qualified. That's it. We consider every woman that meets our aesthetic expectations. In other words, you have sexual interest towards her, you know, you, you want to be intimate with her. That to you is a signal that that's a good seed, and therefore I want to make it permanent, because it's about survival. You think if she meets your aesthetic qualifications, that's a good seed, and you want to have a child that comes from a good seed. It's a psychological thing that's been for millions of years. That's why aesthetics are so important, to be turned on. Now, not necessarily in a certain shape, but to be turned on towards a woman that you like is very important. When you're turned on, you've considered her qualified, because that turn on means she has a good seed. And then for your own survival, you want your child to come from a good seed. So you select her. And that selection to you interprets as a potential of the wife material, of a permanent relationship, of a long-term relationship. So you consider every woman. I bet you don't consider every woman that you meet. You consider every woman that meets your aesthetic standards as to be qualified, not just every woman that you meet. So now that you're aware of it, you may increase the items of qualifications before you make that decision. But it's not that easy, because we men are designed to think of any woman who meets our aesthetic qualification, by default, she's qualified, because everything else about her is perfect too. And then if you go forward and she's not that really hot looking, so to speak, but you like her manners and attitude, again, that turns you on, brings that psychological security, which brings that need to make that permanent. So these are the qualifications that are very important. Of course, the attitude and manners and the energy the exchange is more important than the looks, that's for sure. But at the outset, there would be some kind of a aesthetic looks that would attract you. Then the next step, and if both match, then that's the time to decide. not one. So your way of thinking should be, I need two elements to be provided to meet my standards before I can conclude that this is a potential long-term relationship quality. One is the aesthetic, one is the mind and manner and behavior and the attention and the compatibility and the bonding on the conscious level, which that takes time. So first one is just the instigates the process, and that's immediate pretty much. The next one could give it a time. You got to give it time, at least a year, before the two elements are, uh, you know, have satisfied your standards, and then you can make a decision. Not before. That's how you can perhaps control it. Subscribe on my channel, visit my channel, and go through the videos that you might be interested in. Mind@seekstruth.com is making it one step away to talk to me one-on-one on Skype and discuss what's concerning you. I'll talk to you soon. But we too, like the iceberg, have 1,000 times bigger powers that is not visible, and we must. Why? Is it something we're rambling on and I expect you to accept it? Or is there actually another power within us? Would you come and help me out? Okay. What I want you to do is put your hands underneath my arms and just lift me up. There we go. Okay, now, that's my physical part, right? Same thing, again, with that. Just want to see if there's any difference. Go ahead. Now, go ahead. Now, this, go ahead, when you're ready.
Go ahead.
So you see, this is different than what he was doing, and I'm not really doing anything. You convinced?
Yeah.
So are you guys convinced that there is something other than, thank you. Thank you very much.